I have a question for you guys. What makes a video game perfect for you? This is something you might have asked yourself a few times. Consuming media will always burn some of your time, no matter if it's music, movies, books, or video games. And because of that, you naturally want to make that time worth it. You want your piece of media to be excellent because why waste your time into something you might not like, am I right? Better spend your time on something perfect. But that begs the question once again. What makes a video game perfect? Is it the gameplay? Is it the story? The art direction? I know some of you might say, oh yes, the gameplay, 100% the gameplay, no question about it. But see, the magic of this topic is that there is not a concrete answer. More than just being escapism, gaming is also a medium. It can also be a form of expression that can move people in different ways. One may say, no video game is perfect. And technically speaking, you're not wrong for saying that. But I think that a cool aspect about this topic is that the answer can be very different from person to person. Let me give you my own views on this topic. I think you know that, surprise surprise, I really love gaming. For me, it's very easy to enjoy a title. Even through some of the worst years out there, I've always been able to scavenge some genuinely fun and iconic games each year. When a game gives me a fun time, that is enough for me to consider it great at best or fine at worst. But what makes a title perfect for me can be many different factors. How much impact it had on me, how it moved my emotions in different ways, how it subverted my expectations, my long-term feelings about it, and of course, what it means to me. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but throughout the years during my videos, I've come to say stuff like, one of my favorite video games of all time, many times before. So many times in fact that you might wonder, well gee Luis, you sure have a lot of favorite games of all time. And I'm not gonna deny that. I have way too many favorites, but that's because I played so many games that have become very special to me. And each and every single one of them has achieved something incredible through different means at different stages of my life. Banjo-Kazooie for being a childhood-defining game for me that also became a key piece in helping me learn English. Pokemon Black and White because it showed me that sometimes you need to play something before being able to fully criticize it, and it's a damn great game overall. Xenoblade Chronicles or the Metal Gear series because more than just having great gameplay, they also made me appreciate other aspects in a game such as storytelling, character arcs, and lore. Valhalla, a game that is nothing more than text, became one of my favorites simply because it's a very grounded, unique, and fun story that handles serious topics in a very mature way. Lost Judgment for having one of the best gameplay in the series, amazing characters, kick-ass music, and a phenomenal story. Faith the Unholy Trinity for doing so much with very little resources. It's astonishing how amazing this game is! And of course, Pizza Tower, due to being one of the greatest video games I played in my life that excels in everything it does and barely has any issues. And take in mind, these are just games that quickly came to mind as I was writing. If I were given more time to think about it, I have no doubt I could mention so many games that we will be stuck here all day. But okay, why am I bringing all of this? I just want to show you that even though two games are completely different from one another, they all still have the potential to be special in the eyes of someone in their own unique way. There is no concrete formula that guarantees that a game will be excellent in the eyes of everyone. I'm saying this because I feel that even to this day, there's a lot of people who put so much weight into what others may think, or in some cases, Metacritic scores, and I don't think it is inherently wrong to take those in mind. You know, sometimes you need that extra push to try something. And while game review scores are an absolute because we know they can be incredibly stupid sometimes, it doesn't hurt to listen to someone else's experiences on a certain game. But again, at the end of the day, just because someone felt this way about something, it doesn't mean you'll feel the exact same way too. It's okay to not be super passionate about a game someone else adores, and it's okay to not agree with what the grand majority says. For example, The Last of Us. I don't know if I may be tweaking by saying this, but I feel that this game sorta changed the general perception of what a masterpiece should be. Cinematic games with the best available graphics and mature themes, done under a lot of crunch and pressure for the game developers. We don't have fun here, we're here to tell you what is good for you. And to be fair, I like The Last of Us. It's very polished, still looks amazing, and the story is great. But if I had to choose between this or something else Naughty Dog has made, I'll honestly just choose Uncharted 2 and 4. At least for me, I think they're more fun and replayable. But make no mistake, cinematic games can still be good, it's just... I'm not a big fan of this constant push by AAA studios that try so hard to replicate the cultural impact of The Last of Us. Yeah, you can show off incredible realistic graphics, your open world maps that are twice as big as Texas, and your very mature story. But what does that matter in the end if you can't even grant me the very minimum? Entertainment. In the end, these games can act as high and mighty as they want. They can talk about how polished and flawless they may be, and how much money was spent on them. But it won't matter, since I can't see what makes them unique and special from each other. These high-budget AAA games just blend it together for me. If you like them, then there's nothing wrong with that. It's awesome that you can see stuff that I don't, but... I just think that when everyone strives to be perfect in the exact same way, then nobody shines there. And this takes us to another point I want to bring up. Great games are allowed to have flaws. Amazing games can be frustrating, and every masterpiece has that one moment that makes you say, "Oh dear God, please not this." Let me bring up a great example. Dead Rising. For more than 10 years, I've gone to hell and back talking about how much I adore this franchise. If I am given the opportunity, I'll slurp the hell out of these games because I love them so much. But damn, have you actually played a Dead Rising game? The first one specifically. It's a game riddled with slow movement, clunky controls, and the most horrible survivor AI you have seen in a game. And that, on top of having to deal with a time limit, let me tell you. If you see me playing this game, it'll make you wonder why I love it so much. I get stressed, anxious, and even get pissed off. But you know, Dead Rising is more than the sum of its parts. Even with all that clunkiness and frustrating aspects, I still think it's an amazing and incredibly unique game. Its frustrating aspects are part of its identity, and those bad things make me appreciate the good ones even more. Killing zombies is always very fun, fighting psychopaths is never short of a good time, leveling up is insanely satisfying, and getting the best endings always makes you feel like a champion. And I just love the juxtaposition of having a serious story with a serious protagonist that allows you to be as stupid and ridiculous as you want to be. There's a million of zombie games out there, but at the end of the day, Dead Rising is one of the most unique ones, and it achieved this with both the good and bad aspects behind it. And Dead Rising isn't the only example out there. Look at something like Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, the original Persona 3, or hell, the Dark Souls series. Why do you think that these insanely difficult and frustrating games manage to gain their own following of passionate, vocal, and potentially insane fans? Myself included. This might sound contradicting, but I don't think the perfect video game is the one that has no flaws. There is something amazing about how a title can become a masterpiece even if its bad aspects might push some people away. You know what's a cool gaming wisdom that I like? Sometimes a 7 out of 10 can be a 10 out of 10 to someone else, hell, even less than that. I once made a video with my friends about bad video games that we love, in which all of us made mention of a game that we are fully aware it sucks, yet we can't help but like it one way or another, and this was a really fun video to make. It was amazing how despite a game being bad or hated by many, we still managed to get so much enjoyment out of them. If you watch that video, you might consider us crazy because, man, what sort of idiot could find enjoyment out of these titles? Well, we are those idiots, and that's what's so cool about this entire thing. How we managed to get something meaningful under all that garbage. And that can happen to you too. You never know, there's even times in which external factors can make you enjoy a game even further regardless of quality. Have you ever sat down next to someone to play a bad game only for the two of you to poke fun at it? That is an indescribable quality time. I can even bring up games that I will never play alone, but bring in some friends, and by the end of it, said games will give me a wonderful memory. One last thing I wanna mention though, even if a game is perfect in your eyes, I still think it's good to be a bit more objective and recognize its flaws. Not to say, oh yeah, that thing you love sucks actually, but it doesn't hurt to acknowledge the bad stuff. Not just because that can help you to appreciate the good aspects, but because it shows you where a game can learn and improve upon. And besides, nobody likes a blind fanboy, like, dude, it's okay if you love the newest Pokemon game regardless of quality, but come on. Don't act like any of this is a good thing. This might sound a bit weird, but I don't know where I was getting to with this video. I guess I just wanted to reflect on the things that make me happy. I know that on this channel I say very often stuff like, oh, one of my favorite video games of all time, oh, one of my favorite franchises of all time, oh, these are some of my favorite characters of all time, and so on, but when I say it, I actually mean it. I just really love gaming, so I wanted to explore a bit on why that is the case. I guess the point I'm trying to make with this video is that, sure, no video game is perfect, but every game has the potential of being special to someone. So because of that, I want you guys to tell me, what's the perfect video game to you? I already gave you my piece, so I think it's only fair you guys do the same. Please let me know in the comments, and while you're at it, thank you so much for your time, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to support the channel, you can do so by liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, Patreon. That will help me achieve my dream. Have a wonderful day, and take care! I'll see you next time!